great start. He's running neck and neck for first. He takes the lead and never looks back. Fritz bags his first win. It might as well be the Kentucky Derby.
Where's number 3?
Suddenly, Fritz is called over to the judges' stand. There's a dispute over the race. Fritz is disqualified. He ran out of bounds.
You understand what you did wrong?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a tough break for a first-time racer.
From here to here without getting
He just experienced the highs and the lows in about 30 seconds. I'll talk to you later.
However, the winner was number 2, Green Pop. Number 1 and 3 were disqualified for being off course.
Dealing with loss is part of horse racing. Learning to take it well is part of being a Boniface. Next, find out why tough horses are no match for a man called Shorty. At Bonita Farm, well-bred doesn't always mean well-behaved. And when there's a tough horse to handle, Shorty Gibbs is the man. He's been riding here so long, he's almost a member of the family.
Shorty, you know, he's been with us as long as I've been around here. You know, when I was a kid, he always teases that he used to change my diapers, and I always tell him that was the best job he ever had at Bonita Farm.
All right, get the donut out of your face. Give me a leg up.
You could have shaved today, you know.
How could I put up with a guy for 30-some years like that?
I got a special room in heaven for me, putting
Right.
up with you for 30 years.
I got one, too.
I got AC, I got central heating.
Yeah, me too.
Shorty came here as a very young boy. He was local, born and raised in Harford County. I had heard about him. He had a good reputation roller skating. They took him for the interstate trials, and he was going to maybe go all the way to the nationals, you know.
I was 16 years old, and I was quit school. And Mr. Boniface, I met him at the Bel Air Pool Hall.
I put him to work galloping horses, and the first day he was on the job, I could see he was natural, had a nice, quiet touch.
He's the one that taught me how to ride. Taught me everything I know. This day yet, and he's still teaching me.
First day he was on the job, he hadn't been on a horse, I put him on 10.
I don't know how to put it, but it was kind of hard. I used to take feed sacks, tie around my feet.
He didn't have any boots, so I tied burlap bags around his legs to keep his legs from rubbing. And he's been a good employee ever since then. He's been a very faithful employee and very dedicated to his horses.
Bill's youngest son, John, doesn't remember a time when there wasn't a Shorty.
Shorty's always been there. He was like an uncle that was always there, and he's been with Dad through good horses and bad horses.
Settle down, Mom. She likes to do that sideways all the way when she's galloping. Got to try to keep her straight line. Okay. Okay, kid.
He's still my best man on a tough horse to really hold. One that requires a lot of upper body strength and won't really let you blow their neck that much. I mean, Shorty's he's a master at that. That's his real strength.
Settle down. You got to learn to relax, Billy. Broadway Road.
Shorty's day is one tough ride after the next. He's trusted with the farm's most promising new racers.
Good girl, Broadway. Racehorse here, Pop. Coming out.
Broadway Road is a 2-year-old filly that's just learning the ropes, and she's already earned the reputation as one of the toughest girls in the barn.
Trying to buck me off. I know that.
John knows her well. He broke her.
Buck me off your back, aren't you?
She's a very tough filly. She's constantly picking at you to make you lose your cool.
Come by, John.
And Shorty's the man that you want to be on that horse, to hold that horse. He just has a lot of patience with her.
Hey, stop. Stop! Stop! You're not gonna buck me off.
Shorty knows the signals. You know how he knows the signals? Because it's happened to him. When he was a young kid, he got struck, he got bit, he got kicked. And he learned the hard way, but you know, he already knows which ones are going to do this and that at that certain time. So that's why it's good to have Shorty with the tough one.
Almost got me over her head. To this day, yeah, it's still scary, but you know, if you let a horse know you're scared, that's when they're gonna hurt you. So I just keep it to myself. She almost got me over her head.
Coming up, Northern Flair hits the Big Apple. Race day. Northern Flair and another Bonita hopeful make the 3-hour trek to Aqueduct Racetrack in New York City.
It's strange. I was sitting here thinking about being at a racetrack in the middle of the city.
Well, how about you know, you're so close to JFK, you got these airplanes coming over you at only so many feet. But speak of the devil.
The big city is a world away from Bonita Farm. It's an adjustment for everyone. Chris knows that for Flair to win, the jockey must ride her perfectly.
It's very difficult. I would love to ride our horses myself, you know, but I'm a mother and I don't want to be at the track all afternoon. And I mean, I'm older now too, but it's very hard, especially with a horse like Flair. I know that I could go out there and do exactly what I'm supposed to do.
Jockey Chuck Lopez has never even seen Flair. Standard procedure in racing. Jockeys just don't have the time to make the trip out to the farm very often.
Chucky!
Kevin has only 15 seconds to brief him on Flair's particular racing style.
You know, if you let her show any speed, or if you ask her too soon, she won't have any get up and go for you. All right. So you gotta let her fall out of there and follow them around, and make one run late with her. Quarter of a mile run. That's all she's got. You make it too soon, she'll falter on you. Okay.
For the jockey, the race is a 2-minute jog.
Have a safe trip.
For Chris and Kevin, it means countless hours of training are on the line.
She does need a warm-up.
She's got to warm up.
She has to warm up. It doesn't have to be real strong, but she does have to warm up.
Come on, Chucky.
I feel like I'm watching my kids. I feel when they go in the gate, I get all butterflies. That's it.
In the rub.
Flair gets a slow start and hangs at the back of the pack.
I hope they reverse the order next time around.
You know, all a good jockey has to do is follow instructions. If they get beat, so be it. They have to make split-second decisions, so it isn't easy for them.
39 seconds flat. Facing the comfortable for Gaviola. Still
Everything her own way. Everything her own way.
Dr. Rest on the inside third. After feeling the rules of the midway point.
Trying to run at him,
Rounding the backstretch, the jockey makes his move. Flair gains ground and runs up the inside rail.
Everybody's like, come on, Flair!
But she loses steam before the finish and drops back to 6th.
Come on, Flair! I worked out everything wrong. Look, we're going to finish head to head.
Yeah, she dropped back quick.
It's not the kind of run she usually makes.
She broke a little slow, then she was just content to be back there, which really isn't like her. I mean, usually they really have to wrestle her back, and she was just kind of, to me, she looked like she wasn't interested. And that's what he said, you know.
She was past her peak.
But they're afraid to tap her on the shoulder because that's happened before, and then she takes off and she runs off. I was disappointed with her. I expected more than that.
Dull. She ran
She
dull.
was very dull, and she doesn't run dull. I mean, you know, usually she's ranked.
And all day we were happy with her being quiet. Maybe she was telling us, hey, you know, I'm just kind of a little wrung out right now. Keep coming, keep coming. Your friend's coming. Your friend's coming.
Losses happen to everyone. But not everyone has the staying power to weather them.
You gotta be an optimist in this game or it'll kill you. That's what makes us keep getting up in the morning. That's what makes me put this coat and tie on and get dirty and roll around in the mud with these guys and ride in this van with them, get them all the way home so that tomorrow I go back and keep that hope going and keep on going.
In horse racing, shaking off a loss is just part of the job.
It's easy to blame it on the jockeys because, you know, you can't fire the horse, but you can fire the jockey, you can fire the trainer, and you can fire the exercise rider, you can fire the groom. You just can't fire the horse. And so a lot of people have a tendency to blame it on the jockey because he's the one out there and everything. And I don't believe in doing that often, but you worry sometimes that they don't realize exactly what goes into it. You know, we're busting our butts for days and weeks and everything like that, and they make a couple little mistakes in the race. Well, they go to their next mount, the next race, and you got to go all the way home, and then you got to try all over again.
Determination is in the Boniface's blood as much as horses are. It's a legacy that's being handed down to their children.
I see them all on horses and they're just incredible. And, you know, I don't know if it's because they're bloodlines or whatever, but I just see them becoming horse people. They're so good at it. And, you know, I think they'll be here with us. I think it's the next generation.
Next time on Thoroughbred, John faces tough obstacles training a Bonita Thoroughbred for a big steeplechase race, and some growing foals say goodbye to their mother.
It's okay. Okay, kid. It's okay, kid. Oh, oh, mommy. Oh, back. Oh, that's a girl. Now, settle down. You gotta learn to relax, Billy.
At Bonita Farm, John Boniface tries to lead some high-flying thoroughbreds to victory, but it's a bumpy takeoff. A traumatic time of year has arrived for Bonita's youngest horses. The moment when their mothers leave them behind. And a filly overcomes a special problem to break out of the pack. Bonita Farm, a family-run thoroughbred horse farm, is acclaimed for training winning and well-grounded racehorses. But now one son is leading a group of horses in a different direction. They are going airborne. John Boniface wants to make his mark by training some of Bonita's thoroughbreds for racing that mixes running with jumping. Steeplechase.
You know, I really admire a steeplechase horse. When everything goes well, it's a great feeling. And when a horse jumps something for you, you can really, really enjoy that.
In a month, he's taking 3 of the farm's horses to compete in one of the capitals of the horse racing world, Saratoga, New York. John has his hands full. It takes great finesse to train horses to hurdle obstacles while running at speeds up to 20 miles an hour.
I think I know what it takes to make a jumper. You got to make sure they're fit, but at the same time, you got to keep them happy and sound. Sound mean healthy enough to run, because it's hard on their legs. It takes a special horse that way.
What's crucial when training jumpers is knowing when not to jump them. Pushing off and landing is hard on a thoroughbred's delicate bones. To minimize the risk of injury, John works the jumpers by hill climbing, strengthening their hindquarters and leg muscles.
Well, it's kind of like I call it going to the gym. I think it strengthens the horse for those last couple fences when they're getting tired, and their muscles, sure, they're getting tired, but the muscles still say, well, we know what we got to do. We have to push off and land.
After a morning of hill work, the horses are feeling good. They better be. They'll only have one more day of actual jump training before the race. One week till Saratoga. The horses are primed to practice jumping, though the weather is terrible. John is especially excited about a horse named Poplar, a 5-year-old who seems like a natural.
Some of them will just take to it and they want to fly. Poplar, he likes to fly. He likes to come to it and fly. And I think that that's why I think in the long run he might be a good one. So cross my fingers.
John's sister, Bonita, will be on Poplar today. She's an expert rider, but this morning she'll have to be even more alert than usual. The downpour is making the horses' reins and grass slick. Treacherous conditions for directing a powerful thoroughbred over jumps. Though John is in charge of the jumpers, his father and head trainer, Bill, has come to see this last important workout. John's brother, Kevin, is riding today too, and his practice run goes well.
He's coming in, making her come into it slow.
But when Bonita starts, she can't seem to control Poplar with the wet reins.
They're flying, they're flying. And they're flying. Bonita almost got jumped off there. Did you see her come up out of the saddle?
Approaching the last jump, it gets worse.
Now, whoa, Bonita. Ready. Bring down, ride her down.
It's John and Bill's worst nightmare.
And riders up, horses down.
Bonita looks all right, though shaken up.
Horses up.
And at first glance, Poplar doesn't have a major injury either. John takes the horse off Bonita's hands so she can go home to recover. After making sure his daughter is okay, Bill comes to take a look at Poplar.
He was jumping good the first two.
Jumped me out of the saddle on the second one.
When you lost, I saw you almost jumped you off. I saw that.
The horse seems sound, but they need to rule out any internal injuries. They'll keep a close watch on him for a few days. Later, John turns his attention back to the incident.
Poppy got geared up and he thought he was in a race, and once the horse starts running like that and your hands start slipping, then the reins being wet like they were, it's tough to grab a hold and get them back. It's just bad luck today.
Now, with his best horse a question mark for the Saratoga race, John's chance to prove himself as a steeplechase trainer could be on the line. Next, two foals say goodbye to their mother. 6 a.m. on a July morning at Bonita Farm. It will be a traumatic day for two thoroughbred mares and their foals. Billy Boniface isn't looking forward to what he has to do. He'll be taking 5-month-old foals away from their mothers, who they've been with since birth. Weaning is a necessity, but that doesn't make it easy.
You know, some people think it's cruel that you have to take them away from their mothers, but everybody has to leave home at some point in time. And with horses, a little bit earlier than humans.
Last morning together. You're all right.
This morning, Queen Tap and her foal will be separated.
Girl.
So will Volta and her baby.
You two brought it last morning with Mommy.
There comes a time when grain will be more nourishing to the babies than mom's milk.
You're almost bigger than Mother.
I think it's very important that I get the mares off of the foals as soon as possible. When they get out to, the mares get out to 2-3 months, the foal's really not getting any benefit from the milk. The most benefit's in the first 2.5 months.
Billy and his crew lead Queen Tap, Vaulted, and their foals into the barn, where the split-up will happen. In their stalls, Queen Tap and her foal have settled in as they would on any other day. So have Vaulted and her filly. It's time. Billy's wife, Barbara, is helping him out today.
Okay, you ready?
The foals are taking an important but difficult step on the road to growing up. After their mothers have been taken away, the babies are led out to a separate pasture. To keep them feeling secure, Billy leads them with an unweaned foal and her mother.
There we go. Okay, walk on. All right.
Up till now, the foals have been unsure about what's going on. But soon, it sinks in. Their mothers are gone. In a pasture nearly a quarter-mile away, the mares recognize their babies' distant cries. Having been through this for 15 years, Billy knows the horses will recover.
Today, it'll be a rough day. Tomorrow will be a little bit better for most of them. The next day, it's fine.
Next, can a filly overcome her troubled past? In Bonita's training barn, Kevin's wife, Chris, is working to get a favorite horse ready for an upcoming race. Easie's Lass is a small 4-year-old filly who's loaded with courage.
Every time she runs, she goes out there and she tries as hard as she possibly can. She never throws in the towel. Even if she's, if she knows she's not going to win, she still just digs in and keeps on trying until the race is over. She never gives up. She's just so honest. A lot of horses, they'll get dirt in their face or they'll get cut off by other horses or something, and they'll just quit. They'll just, you know, oh, that's it, I'm done. Not Easy. It just makes her try even harder. She's determined.
It's a trait Easie's Lass was forced to rely on early in life. At 6 weeks old, nearly 4 months before weaning, she was orphaned when her mother died of colic. Chris's sister-in-law, Barbara, who helps take care of the mares and foals, watched how the traumatized baby responded.
She cried and whined. It was so sad. Just ran up and down the field for days and days. It was the saddest thing. We kept trying to make her bond with different horses. She never would. And she was really crying. And it was just heartbreaking. So you take them under your wing.
To help Lass adjust, the Bonifaces did something unusual. They knew that if other foals were weaned early, they would bond with the orphan.
So finally we did wean 2 other foals early so that she would have company.
With other foals around, Barbara saw determination grow in the filly.
She had the survival instinct, and she still does. And even though she's not a big, outstanding looking horse or gorgeous, you wouldn't pick her out, but she is. She's a fighter, and she's got a lot of spirit and guts about her.
Last season, as a 3-year-old, Lass showed her stuff. She ran in the money in 7 races, coming in 1st, 2nd, or 3rd. Now, with a week to go before her next race, Kevin and Chris are testing her flat-out speed.
She's really finding her stride right now. She switched to her right lead. Never close. Chris got a great clock in her head. I told her anywhere from 50 to 51. She went in 50.39.